Well, hey, everybody, welcome to another show, Jim Hall. You ought to know. And we're here in Hesperia, California. We're at Crossroads Tattoo Parlor and Body Piercing. Now, you're going to find out some interesting things here. But this show is more about life, liberty, and those that serve in the military as well. We're going to tie all that together here in this particular show. And we're at Crossroads. You're going to meet Christof, the artist that's here today, and Joe Flores, our executive producer. He's with us, and Lee Williams is here, and you're going to find out why Lee is here and what it's representing and what this is all about. It's a fantastic show, and it's coming up right here. So glad you're with us at Crossroads Tattoo Parlor and Body Piercing in Hesperia, simply because you ought to know. Stay with us. Great show is coming up. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know, at Crossroads Tattoo and Body Piercing, and we're actually at Crossroads East, and we're on Bear Valley Road in Hesperia, just east of Hesperia Road is where we are. There's actually a couple locations, one here and one at Mariposa and Bear Valley. And first off, let me introduce Christof. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Now, we're going to see you in action here pretty quick. You're going to be doing what?
I'm going to be doing a portrait of a memorial piece.
Now, I've seen your portrait book. I've seen some of your artwork. You've done some skulls, the roses, the typical thing we think of in tattoo. But this one's a little bit different, and it's kind of a memorial to what?
To the father of Joseph. He's the executive producer of the show.
Yep, Joe's back there. He's behind the camera. Joe, come on over here and join me real quick. Lee, we're tying this together because you have a memorial behind us, and we're going to talk about that here in just a couple minutes. How does this tie in?
Basically, when I first started all the memorials, Joe was really instrumental in being there for me and trying to get more of the business portion of it for me, because I was building the memorials and I didn't have a lot of things that were going on. I was kind of tied and transfixed on that. So Joe really stepped in and helped me with that, and I kind of figured that's the way we can repay him, by helping him get a tattoo that's going to remember his dad.
All right. Well, Christof is here. We're going to let you start setting up here in just a second. You've got ink on both arms.
Yeah.
Do you have it on legs?
Yes, I do.
On your back?
No.
On your chest?
No.
On your neck?
Yes.
All right. Any other places you may have it that you don't want to talk about? That would be a no. We're going to let you start getting ready, and we're going to talk about some history, and you're going to give us some background in a few minutes. So we're going to let you go ahead. And Lee, while we talk about the memorial, look on Joe's arm here. Can we get a shot of that, Joe? Because that's Joe right there. And that is, Christof, what you've tied in there. There's the basic artwork. And then you're going to tie in a dog tag to hang from that, which will, of course, represent Joe Sr., who, of course, is the veteran.
Yeah, I will. Most of that's just going to be added on there after. It's going to be more of like a 3D piece, almost where people will walk up and actually think they can grab the dog tag.
Okay. So now you see what we're tying in together. We're going to talk about the memorial here some more. You got the memorial going on your arm. Now, this is going to be an eternal memorial to your father.
Right.
And you decided to put this on. Why?
You know what? I was trying to decide what to go with at first. And, working with this project with Lee, the Operation Kilo, it just kind of, it popped in my head. This is exactly what I want to represent. Something that I've been, partly involved with now, and that I hope to be involved with for a long time. And, it does represent my father's service in the Navy.
Well, we've got to show the other arm. This was actually done just about a week ago. Christof, you did this piece here. Describe that to me.
It's got 3 ribbons on there, and it looks like it's still peeling a little bit. It's got a little bit of healing to go, but that was a really fun piece that I did.
And this represents what? Because you got to talk about this too.
This is, we've discussed before my passion for New Orleans, and so I went with the fleur-de-lis, which represents New Orleans, and the 3 traditional colors, the gold, purple, and green. But I tied in something else very important to it. Not only did my father pass away last year, and that's why I'm doing the memorial today, but my mother is currently on the end stages of cancer. Started with lung cancer, spread into lymph node, breast cancer, and it's taken over her entire upper body. So what I did was I tied the 3 cancer ribbons together, the white to represent the lung cancer, the pink for the breast cancer, and the purple for all cancer.
All right. So you've got memorial for Mom. You got one for Dad that's going over there.
Yep.
And we remember your grandparents well, too. We actually memorialized him with your grandmother at one point. So
Right.
this kind of ties in the history. We tie in what we've got going on here. So we're going to let you get ready. Christof, we're going to let you get ready, and we'll talk to you in a few minutes.
Okay.
And Lee, as they continue and they get ready, let's talk about the memorial itself and what this actually represents, because this is a moving piece. To most people, you can see this as an American, and how can you not get emotional just by seeing this? What does it represent?
Basically, the dog tag or the Battle Cross Memorial is made in Afghanistan or Iraq or in the battle zone. People in the United States don't normally get to see it. So what we do is we actually went and got parts from Afghanistan that were actually used by soldiers in combat, and then we started doing gravesides after they were built. It's the epitomation of what freedom really is. Freedom isn't free.
And this represents, as we see the memorial, the helmet was actually used. You've got the rifle here, the bayonet, the dog tags. Were these actual servicemen in the service?
Actually, these servicemen actually died in Operation Red Wings in 2005. We just did the 10-year anniversary 2 days ago.
And you did that memorial, or a tribute, as it is. And when you do those and you remember these folks, you've got the dog tags here. I would imagine family also has dog tags.
Family has dog tags, and when the dog tag is donated, it stays with the memorial the whole time. So wherever we go in the United States or in the world, they go with us.
So what a tribute.
It's a very big, moving tribute. It actually shows everybody why we do what we do. You know, an 18-year-old kid goes off to war not knowing that he may die, but when he does, he makes the ultimate sacrifice.
What made you get so motivated with this? Because you became a mover and a shaker with this.
I just didn't have a way to physically show people a manifestation of what freedom really means. You know, we go through life every day not really knowing that there's almost 7,000 people that have given their lives for us just in the past 14 years.
Well, and people sometimes forget our veterans, don't they? And I know you're tied in with a lot of the homeless folks, too. You've done a lot for the homeless people. A lot of those people that are homeless are veterans, aren't they?
A lot. You're about 25% of people on the street right now are homeless, and most of them are under 40 years old.
So let us never forget is really what it's about.
Exactly.
When you go out and do these memorials like this one, and we see this tribute you've got here, you did this in San Diego recently. Talk about that experience.
San Diego was a pretty special situation. It was for Operation Red Wings. There were 11 SEALs and 9 Army personnel on the helicopter. If you've seen the movie Lone Survivor, they were portrayed in that movie. And everybody had their own story. And it's been 10 years to the day, as of tomorrow, that these gentlemen passed away. If you don't know about it, there was about 200 guys coming up the hill. They found out their position. They were going to try to get out as quietly as they could, turn into a firefight. 4 guys died on the hill. One, Marcus Luttrell, actually survived. He was a lone survivor. And then 9 gentlemen and more SEALs died on the aircraft that was shot down with an RPG. So this memorial is very interesting only because that there's actually people that have been dedicated to it.
I mean, there's real names, there's real people they knew very well.
Yeah, and people that you hear, like if you watch a movie and you see Lone Survivor, you kind of tie all that in, but you need to realize that they're an actual person. You know, it's actual people that gave themselves the ultimate sacrifice.
Well, we've got the tribute here. We've got the tribute. They're getting ready on Joe's arm, and Christof is back there finishing the artwork. We're going to see that happening. And so we're here at Crossroads, is where we are, Crossroads Tattoo. Crossroads East is where we are. 2 locations, one off of Mariposa, this one on Bear Valley, just east of Hesperia Road. And we're going to get you information if you want it. You'll be able to contact Christof about tattooing, about the artwork, some of the great things he's done. You need to really come in and take a look at his book. You've got artwork on you, too, by the way, don't you?
Yeah, we're going to get some more here pretty soon.
Oh, everybody gets a little bit of, they say getting ink. Yeah. You can see that, nope, nothing there.
We're going to trade with Jim.
But
we're going to give him this one.
It's coming. Stay with us, everybody. There's more yet to come from Crossroads, simply because in this tribute show, you ought to know. More yet to come. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know. We're at Crossroads Tattoo and Body Piercing. We're at actually Crossroads East. There's 2 locations that you can go to here in the Victor Valley, one off of Mariposa and the freeway at the 15 at Bear Valley. And this one, we're on Bear Valley Road just east of Hesperia Road. And Christof, you met him during the first segment. Tattooing is underway. And Christof, while you're doing that, tell me, how long have you been tattooing?
I've been tattooing about 5 years. Going into my 4th year right now professionally. So yeah, not very long. I just
well, by the looks of your book, your sample book, you've got a lot of the portraits you've done, and you do a lot of portrait work. Did you mean to specialize in that sort of work, or
No.
just something you adapted to?
Yeah, I just kind of fell into the whole portrait scene. I started off doing nothing but cartoony type tattoos, traditional style, and then once I got that down, it almost becomes like a competition with other artists, other shops, and the competition in tattooing right now is realism. And yeah, I just, just kind of fell into it. I just took a shot one day, and I actually liked it right off the bat. Not saying I was good at it right off the bat, but
Well, do most tattoo people, they need to be artists?
in my eyes, I think it's good for anybody that tattoos to be better at, most corners of tattooing, not just tattooing. I mean, like painting, charcoal, pencil. I mean, anything artistic. I mean, that's what makes you a better tattoo artist. I mean, just grabbing a tattoo machine and just thinking that you can tattoo and not knowing how to actually draw, I kind of frown upon. I think all types of art, it really helps. If you're tattooing, I'd really push it to the artists that they need to paint and become a well-rounded artist all the way around.
Professionally, 4 or 5 years for you, you've been doing these. I've seen your portrait book, a lot of the work you've done. And when did you get your first tattoo, the very first time you got some ink on your body?
Oh my gosh, I was so scared. I waited until I was 21. A lot of people get tattooed when they're, right when they turn 18, or some people get, tattooed in garages when they're 15. But I was scared. I was really scared to get tattooed. I didn't know how it was going to look. I didn't know how it was going to feel.
Did you have a reason why you were doing it? Your first tattoo, did it represent something to you? Does a tattoo usually represent something?
For my first tattoo, it did mean something, only because I was new at getting tattoos. If I was going to get tattooed, if anything, it had to mean something. But now I love getting tattooed simply if it's artistic and it looks amazing, like I want to get it tattooed. Now the whole meaning, it kind of sounds sad, but it kind of went out the door. But I think it's different for tattoo artists. We look upon things as if it looks very very artistic, very amazing, we want to have that on our body and carry it with us.
Well, this one, obviously, you're working on here for Joe. This is the Operation Killed in Action, and this one, obviously, some deep meaning here. The one that we showed earlier on his other arm has meaning, of course, tied to his mother and New Orleans, which is be an important spot for him. When we come back, we're going to watch some of you. I want you to actually describe some of the technique of tattooing and a little bit more about your involvement in it. But don't go anywhere, everybody. We're going to be right back. We're at Crossroads East here in Hesperia on Bear Valley Road. And is there a phone number people can reach you at if they want to talk with you?
Actually, you can call the shop number. And then we also have a Facebook page that you can go check us out on. Best way to get a hold of us is either call us or on our Facebook. Our Facebook is Crossroads East. You can catch us there, message us whenever you want, and we can get to you as soon as we can.
All right, we'll back with more in just a moment. Stay with us. We're here simply because you ought to know. More yet to come. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know. We're at Crossroads East, Crossroads Tattoo and Body Piercing. Christof is here with me, and he's our tattoo artist. And you consider yourself an artist, right?
I hope so.
Well, I certainly hope so. The artwork looks good. Now, you actually did the artwork that prepared this for Joe's arm.
Yes.
And again, this is the tribute, our Operation Kilo, Killed in Action Memorial Project. And you're going to be doing these. I understand you're going to be available for this particular artwork for people that want the Operation Kilo Memorial. You're going to be doing that.
Yes, I will. Anybody that is looking to get a tattoo, the same tattoo or something that resembles the same statement, you'll be able to reach me. And that way, everybody's tattoo can stay within the same artist, same type of art. You want realism? I'm here for you.
Well, and Lee Williams, you're here over here right behind the camera. This actual logo was designed by whom? By you. So this was designed by Lee. You met Lee at the beginning of the show, and we had the memorial that you saw that's set up here in the shop, and you're going to see the side-by-side comparison. As the tattoo, you're going to see the time lapse now. We're going to speed up and check out the tattoo as it progresses through the day here as Christof works on it. You talked about doing this a few years and having a passion for art, being able to draw pencil sketches and the different things, and you prepare this artwork before you do this.
Yes.
And do clients come in with preconceived notions in their head of what they want, and sometimes that design, do you alter it sometimes and help them with that to develop it into something much better?
Yeah, a lot of art that's actually on the internet, on paper, posters, paintings, anything like that. It does look awesome on a canvas, but once it goes on the skin, it's a little bit different. You gotta think of it like how the body flows, muscle. It's just you have to imagine how this thing is gonna be presented. Other than the canvas, sometimes people bring in their own sketches of artwork that they want on them, and they might think that oh, this is an awesome picture and everything like that. But what they don't understand is, I mean, we've been doing art for so long. I mean, I've been painting. I painted for 8 years before I even started tattooing. I think that's why I got a little, head start once I started. But it's all experience. I mean, we know what's going to look good on your skin. We know what's going to look kind of funny. Best thing I do is, I know it's hard to trust people, but I mean, we're putting something permanently on your skin, and all you have to do is check out our books, see for yourself. I mean, if we have good art, I mean, that's one way of trusting your artist. So
Now the person comes in for a tattoo, say the first time person too, they're getting their first tattoo, what would they expect for a sitting? Something about this size here, how long would it take to do this?
This right here, it would probably take about 2 to 3 hours. But also, I mean, that all depends on how long the tattoo artist has been at it. Are they, experienced in this field? Realism takes a little bit longer. So, I mean, it all depends on who's actually tattooing you. Some artists can do this in, an hour flat. Other artists that aren't too experienced in this field, I mean, it could take 3-4 hours.
Well, you see the dog tag is on there, and you can clearly see it says Joe Flores there, and the serial number and the dates, his birth date and the date that he passed away, and of course being remembered here. Joe, how you feeling?
Good. Definitely, the arm is much nicer place to do it than the leg was.
Well, sore already, or a little tingly?
Little tingly, kind of. It's like having a sunburn. That's just, somebody just kind of rubbing in on a sunburn.
All right, a little burn to it going on. And you can see he's working on it. And as I say, we've got the camera there that is getting a shot for you and some time lapse of how this is actually going together. Now, if you want to get a hold of Christof or somebody here at Crossroads East, you can do that. The phone number here is 760-956-8813. 956-8813. And we're here at Crossroads East with Christof. Joe Flores here, our executive producer, along with Lee Williams. And he's over behind the camera right now and, of course, designed this logo for Operation Kilo. And this, of course, is going to be a tribute to his father. He's got the one over there on his arm that represents New Orleans, as he showed you, and remembering the cancer survivors and those fighting cancer. We don't want to forget the people. Each tattoo, as we talked about, meaning something special. How many tattoos do you have now, Christof?
Oh gosh, I lost count.
Round number, a guess?
Round number, maybe 30.
30 tattoos. So this is about how many have you had now, Joe? This is fourth one. Are you-
he's taking it better than I would.
All right. So
But, you know, once you, like you said,
it's always easier being on the other side.
Oh yeah, but like I said before, once you get your first one, you kind of get that craving for more. So, you know, it grows with you.
Well, we're here at Crossroads East, and we're going to be back to wrap this particular show up. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We are here simply because a tribute, a memorial, and a way to remember. And that's what this show is about at Crossroads East Tattoo Parlor and Body Piercing, where you can get all your body work done right here in one location. We'll be back with more simply because you ought to know. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, that's going to put the wraps on another show, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know, at Crossroads East, Crossroads Tattoo Parlor and Body Piercing here in Hesperia. And we're on Bear Valley Road, just east of Hesperia Road. And we're here with the tribute. And this is Operation Kilo, Killed in Action. And the memorial on Joe's arm over there is continuing. The memorial to his father, the memorial to our troops, Lee designed. And you can see we've got the memorial here, and it's all part of this show. Everything kind of tied together. I promised you at the beginning of the show that it would, and we're here to close out this particular show simply because, like with all of our shows, you ought to know. We'll see you next show, everybody.